Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft/dining room. I've got more holiday stencil goodness today with an adorable holiday card, plus a genius little hack, at least I think it is. Anyone? To use the stencil today, and I hope you like it because I thought it was pretty smart, and if you have a square punch or a square die laying around, oh, just wait till you see the magic. That holiday card project with stencils and a fun little hack coming up next. So here's a look at the core products I'm going to be using today. This is a stencil that's just for the squares. See that little friend there? And then this guy is the same whole idea, but just details. See that? Right? So those layer in together. And I've got some inks. I've got some of the new Glitz glitter gel to add a little shine. And here's what I did. I punched a couple squares that are going to help me, I think, mask off color so I can quickly fill a background with color. I just used some nesting squares from Waffle. I actually have both sets, and I used the second set, I always call it the perfecting set just because it gives you everything that you need to cut every size square. But you could do a square punch. I know a lot of us have punches stashed away somewhere. I'm sure I have one in my basement somewhere. I just couldn't find it. And I've got just a piece of cardstock here that I'm going to create a background, trim this down, and then I'm going to add some detail with the Glitz using the detailed stencil. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is just tape my stencil into place so it doesn't move. And actually, I probably don't even need to do the sides because of using this, right? I'm going to put this off to the side. I don't necessarily need to stencil on it, but I want to have something to tap off on as needed. I'm going to use some blender brushes. I don't think I need the smaller ones yet. I think I can just get away with using my larger brushes. Now, here's the idea, and this might not work, but we're going to try, okay? I'm just going to create some random patterns with colors, just squares. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and just like load up my brush here with pucker, tap a little off, and let's just start in the upper corner. See how my mask works like that? I think if I just hold it there, right, I can just quickly add color like that. Yeah. All right. And if I want to, I can make it darker in the corner. I can make every side darker and kind of just fade it out. That's fine. That looks good. And now we are there. I'm going to come right in here and do another one. While I have my red, we'll just darker and lighter. This is just so much faster than worrying about, tape, like, right, with Post-it tape. When you can make your own little custom mask like this out of cardstock, how great is that? And this is just a scrap of white. I've got 2 squares on here so that I don't contaminate my color too badly. But that's not even that hard to hold on to, right? It's kind of cool. And then I think I'll connect some as we go, right? Like that. I need to be up in the center a little more. I'll do that on the next one. Okay, blend and come over like that lightly. All right, let's get up here a bit more. See that? We're just making a grid. I will be trimming this whole thing down as well. So I'm not going to be using all of it. I know sometimes when you're watching me create and you see me create these 6x6 areas and then I trim them down and you might be thinking, Cathy, no, why not make a bigger card? Well, I don't make bigger cards very often. I actually prefer just good old-fashioned USA 2, right? So if I keep my sizes limited, then, it's a little easier. The other reason I like it is because it allows me to crop the design how I want the design. And that's really partly it's like my favorite thing. Now I am going to take a little tape here only to do this. I just want to mask off the red. And now I'm going to start bringing in some Limelicious. And this is going to be, you know, just a really nice combo of Christmassy colors, right? So we'll start here. All right, get right in there. And, well, I guess I have to hold it like that. And the same thing. Darker in one side, and then bring it up lighter. Actually, I think I started on the wrong, well, that's fine. Darker. Like that. And then blend it out. This does blend. I should turn it this way. There we go. That way I have a larger corner to come in from. Does that make sense? All right. And these inks smooth out and dry so nicely. Like it just looks beautiful as they dry. So I'm really just sort of, you know, coming around here. And it's random, right? It's random, but I just think these three colors are fun together. Well, they're very Christmassy, of course. You know, this, the green and red, classic Christmas combo, right? But I'm just trying to figure out, like, where am I going to put my blues and how am I going to have this in? Keep sliding down here, all right? But yeah, I think this works. Just trying to do the one color at a time so I don't have to double back. I might need another red though. We'll see. I'm gonna get my, look at that, so cute. Now here's what I don't know. I feel like I should probably flip this over just because I don't want any of this ink. In fact, maybe I could just wipe some. Let's see if any of it comes off. A little bit, you know, and if that's the case, I might want to make a clean one. I just don't want this to transfer any ink, so I'm going to try it over here first, where I'm not sure. This might get cropped off, but let's just see if it gives us a clean transfer of blue. Oh, I think it will. Look at that. Yeah, I think that'll be fine, right? Blending onto my fingertips there. I think that's clean. That doesn't look, yeah, we're fine. So I went ahead and finished all of these. I added in a couple more red too. And now I'm just going to lift this up and show you the grid that I have created underneath. See, isn't that nice? It's just all nice and even. And I'm just going to let this dry a little bit. These inks have a high viscosity, which means it takes them a little while to dry. So I'm going to let that dry before I figure out what I'm going to do with this panel, because I think I will be cutting this down first and then I'm going to add my details. I'm going to use one of my A2 layers dies from Waffle Flower. This is the additional layer set. And I think this is the crop that I want. I want to make it nice and equal. This is going to go onto a white note card. Also, this might be enough space to make a little tag too. I have a little tag set. I may try to do that at the end, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this out on my machine. I had to trim it a little bit to get it to fit through my die cut machine, but that's going to be the panel for my card. And then I think, check this out. I could do something like that. Wouldn't that be cute? Actually, I could get a couple tags out of that, but I like the crop having a little bit here and a little bit there. So I'm going to go ahead just to have one. I'm going to cut that out as well. Now it's time to move on to popping on some glitzy, shiny things. And what I want to try to do is I'm going to go J-O-Y. That's the plan. But in the meantime, I want to try to use as many of the colors as they coordinate, if that makes sense. So here, it's going to get a little messy. It's going to get a little messy. Here's what we're going to do. I need some tape to hold down. Oh, I got tape sticking to everything. Let's just do a little tape just right on there for now, okay? And let's do a little tape on this stencil as well, because I don't want this. I want to line this one up specifically let's see, like that. And then the snowflake will be in like that. So let's tape you there and there. Now this is going to have to go in some rounds of drying. So there'd be no way I could do something like this live, but again, I am going to be bringing in some clean stencils that are clean little masks that I made in order to potch in the colors, as it were. Although, could I do the O in green and do the Y? I mean, you know, you can mix it up, right? So maybe I will get some of my greens done, and I'm going to have to wash the stencil, but I think I could put in a few, but not that one, because I think I'm talking this out loud because I don't want to mess it up because it's so cute. Famous last words, right? So let's just get started. I am going to mix up, the color of this is surf, right? This has a beautiful creamy texture, okay? But you don't need much. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's just isolate this friend first, okay? Just a little. I'm just gonna take a tiny bit. Maybe that might even be too much. I don't wanna have too much because I just want it to be the right amount, and I'm just going to press that in and scrape it off. Press in, scrape, press, scrape. Now I'm going to pick up a little more. Okay, I'm going to pick that up, go into my snowflake, and do the same thing because I want this also to be nicely potched in. Okay, let's go back that way too, like that. Pick it up. Get as much off as possible. Does not need to be on there really thick. I'm going to come down here. Again, not too much. Just go like this, right onto that stencil. Oh, I'm dragging it right into my stencil stuff. Let's just, I think I need more hands. Okay, go like that. It's going to come right to the edge like that. I do think I'm going to have to do this in, let's get that right in there like that. In layers though, because I don't want to mess this up. And so I think, oh, I have one more. I have blue over here. I think I'll do that. Well, you know what? I don't think I need that for that. I don't want this to overlap. I'm just going to very quickly potch this in like that. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter on the outside, does it? Because it's going to come right to the edge. I am going to wipe this off on a wet paper towel. So something like this is a little tedious, right? You're not going to be doing something like this en masse, but let's lift it straight up so I can show you, oh, how cool that is on layer number one. Now, the reason I think that you do want to do this is, check it out. I don't want this to be too sticky on the edge, so I want to scrape that right there. And I'm going to let this completely dry before and clean up the stencil before I move on to the next layer. I've placed it back down into place, and I'm going to, again, tape that because I'm going to go, oh, the Y is going to go here and it's going to be in red. So I'm going to move on to using the red or green paste. So again, I took another little scrap here, covered nicely like that. Scrape it back in like that and scrape. Don't want too much, don't want too little. Okay, oops. And now I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to go to the heart. Just potch it in and scrape, scrape, scrape that off. Okay. And just kind of potch that in like that. Scrape, 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 scrape. Like that. And scrape it off. Again. Scrape it all back in like that. Pick it up. Okay. Up. And look at that. Isn't that cool? Now, again, going to come here, just do a quick scrape there so that it doesn't build up on the edge. Quick scrape there, and I'm going to let this dry. So now it's time to bring in red. And here's the thing. I have been cleaning off the stencil in between. Of course, I'm having to let these layers dry. So, you know, it's not the speediest of processes, right? So let's grab, this is called Cherry, and I'm just going to press this down. Okay. And scrape off the excess. Like that. Lift. All right. Oh, but you know what? See, I don't want to pop that down. Okay, that's the only time where I think my stencil can get me into a little bit of trouble. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to try not to get it on anything else. And I think I can do that just fine. Okay. Oh, punch it back in there. I think I got too much of it out. And lift. Okay. And lift straight up. Oh, look how cute that is. All right. And I'll let that dry and just go wipe this down, and we'll come back and fill in a few more spots. I have a little more stenciling to do because what I'm trying to do is kind of create a little bit of repetition. So I've got 1, 2, I'm going to have 3 of these, right? I could have done this before when I had the red out, but I didn't think. Put that right there because I want to isolate that. So let's go back to it, cover that up, and bring that in like that. Oop, I'm kind of having that's not coming on the way I'd hoped. Let's go like that. Scrape it on. And gotta potch it. Sometimes I over scrape, and I don't want to do that. I'm not getting enough on there. Let's potch you down like that. Okay. Let's pick that up. Let me lift it and see. Coming straight up. Kind of mucked it a little. It's not bad because once that dries, it's going to look just fine. Just sort of go like that. While it's still a little creamy, I'm just pushing in a little on that line. Then I'm picking this up. I am going to do the old scrape like that on the edge. Gonna let that dry as well. Oh, you know what though? Let's get a little at the bottom too. I went a little heavy-handed here, but that's okay. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. And I may do one more thing up over here. I think the last part that I'm going to add, and this is still a little wet here, I think I'm just going to add, a star right there. Potch that there and potch that there. Like that. And scrape. Oops. How's that for a manicure? Wow, that is something. I'm going to take that off before it sticks to the nails. Lift and separate. And again, I'm going to just do a little scrape. And let's get you in the camera. I'm going to let this dry, and while that's drying, I'm going to work on prepping my card base. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and prep my card base. This is going to be a top folding US A2 size when it's folded down. Of course, that is going to be 4 1/4 inches wide by 5 1/2 inches tall. Actually, you know what I should have done before I did that? I want to stamp a greeting on the inside here. So I've got a block and I've got my, let's see, I think I'm going to do Happy Holidays from this stamp set. This is called Ornamental Christmas. Stamp set from me, but a lot of these greetings are really nice for the insides of cards too. I don't often show insides of cards. Like I never remember to show that part of the process, but I promise I do stamp them. I just forget a lot of the time. So I think here all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this wonderful pucker ink. I'm going to roll the dice. See, this is the thing. If you ink it up before you make your card and then you mess it up, I think it'll be fine. Press. Let that ink transfer. And a charming little Happy Holidays is on the inside of this card with a nice red ink that will match perfectly with what's on the outside. All right, so as soon as that other piece is dry, I am going to pop it up onto the front of the card base. So I have on the back here a little bit of foam tape. Probably let that dry for the last round about 15 minutes. See here, pick it up. Still looking good. So I'm just going to center this right on the card base. Look at the glorious light. And press. And now, I guess now that the sun's coming in, look at the shine, but also the dimension, right? The paste does give you that bit of dimension. And even though I got a little thick and goopy there, I don't think anyone's going to notice. And if they do point that out, maybe I shouldn't have given them the card. I will also show you, look at my little, oh, I got a little guy on there. Look at my little tag, right? I put a little tree here. So if I had a little gifty and some twine and then, you know, had this as the tag, wouldn't that be cute? Well, I hope that you think that it will be. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today. You can find the stencils and all the materials that I used linked below the video in the description box. And I will see you back here with another card project soon. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.